All right, guys, Berks here with the RSI Arrastra Q A that just dropped. I am not a miner, personally. I'm over 18. No, sorry, that was a terrible joke. I'm not a miner in Star Citizen. I don't typically do mining, so some of this stuff may go over my head in terms of like how to use it. But yeah, we're just gonna take a look and see what it is. The interesting thing to me is that because of the turret sizes and how many that are on the ship, a lot of people are claiming this could have a potential case to even be a sort of combat ship. I'm not really sure if I feel that way about it, but it's got a lot of turrets. It could definitely defend itself, which is good. I like that. But let's take a look. RSI Arrastra Mining Refined. Tackled the biggest jobs. Actually, this is just some flavor text, so we're going to skip over this. If you want to read this thing in full, I'm going to highlight it. If you don't read it in full, I'm going to link it down in the description. How often does the Arrastra's refining capabilities, or does it compare to the ships like the Expanse, Orion, and Galaxy? Okay, very interesting language we're going to use here since none of these ships exist yet, right? The Arrastra has 2 reactors that allow it to run 2 separate orders concurrently. These reactors are much larger than the 6 found on the Expanse. Interesting. I didn't know that about the Expanse yet. Allowing each order to contain a much higher quantity of goods. While the number of player control refining are still being worked out, we don't want to give specifics. Expect each reactor to be able to refine the same amount as the Expanse in one go. Interesting. So the Expanse, if you don't know, is a dedicated refining ship. It's a little bit bigger than a Prospector as far as I can tell. But I'm not really sure how that's going to fit in because we don't have it yet. Right? The idea is that you'd be able to take bags off of like a Prospector, maybe a mole, and then be able to use those to like refine on the go with the Expanse. So compared to the Galaxy's refining modules, these reactors are about the same capacity. Wow. That is interesting. Naturally, compared to the Orion, they are significantly smaller. So Orion's much bigger. Galaxies are about the same. And the Expanse also seems about the same. It says about the same all in one go. So 6 small ones versus 2 big ones. If that makes sense. Each small one on the Expanse is about 1/3 of the capability. Is the Arrastra able to refine Quantanium? If so, is it able to create its own fuel to use? It can refine Quantanium as a resource, but there is no way to feed it back into the fuel tanks. Seems like weird engineering. Just run a line, right? But okay. So Quantanium is purely generated as a commodity to sell. I would say that's a really interesting decision by CIG. I don't know. Do you guys like that it can't refuel itself? Or do you think that it shouldn't be able to? I don't know. I think that I'm kind of like on the fence. You like it? Yeah, you like it? So I think this is going to be a polarizing discussion. Some people are going to say that's really stupid. Some people are going to say, I like it. I think is what's going to happen. How do the Arrastra's mining capabilities compare to the Prospector, Mole, and Orion? It sits between the Mole and Orion. Okay, so kind of nobody's really surprised by that. With the largest lasers capable of cracking harder rocks at greater distances than the Mole. Interesting. Harder rocks. So maybe there's going to be rocks in the future that are like, what maybe they mean harder as in like bigger mass, but I'm wondering if there's going to be certain types of rocks that can only be cracked with big lasers because it's like hardened something, or like a certain type of material that can only be extracted by certain lasers of a certain size. I don't know. Are these mining lasers on the Arrastra bespoke? Bespoke meaning they are like attached permanently. What are the benefits of the size 3 mining laser? They are not bespoke and will have upgrade paths like other mining lasers in the game. Cool. Expected. Sizing wise, the simply provided greater range in output by default. Great. Will it be possible to take materials from ore bags onto the ship and refine it, such as the ones in the Prospector? Yes, actually. Wow, that's interesting. Yes, the Arrastra has 2 ports capable of taking ore from bags from a Prospector and Mole. Wow, actually very interesting. Bespoke meaning custom. I think bespoke, I could be wrong here. Yeah, but I thought bespoke also means like custom as in it's like like a bespoke weapon, as in the Ion or Inferno. Like it's attached to it and you can't put it on a different ship, right? Okay. Where do we leave out? Are the mining lasers able to be controlled by the pilot? No, they are controlled via the okay. So they have mining stations per each laser, which I can't remember. Is it 3 or is it 6? Does the ship have VTOL mode for planetary mining? Yes, it has dedicated VTOL built into the ship to allow hover mode on the surface of planets. Interesting. All right. Does the ship have a dedicated vehicle bay, or is the internal 64 SCU cargo used for this perhaps? Or sorry, used for this purpose? What's the largest vehicle that will be able to fit? The vehicle in its center cargo area. Sorry, the vehicle bay is in the center of the cargo area. However, the two coexist, with the cargo grids being available at the edges of the room, and the central space is designed to hold 2 Rock DSs. 2 rocks is really what they mean. Or 2 Ursa rover-sized vehicles. Who's driving a Rock DS these days? Not me. If you actually non-ironically drive a Rock DS, I need to hear from you in the comments. Does the external ore storage use standard SCU, unrefined ore bags, or something new? They use standardized SCU containers, allowing for a huge amount of, I'm really going to try with this word, interoperability. Is that how you say that? I'm very dyslexic. My apologies. With other vehicles in the universe. Interoperability? Oh my God. Yeah, what a word. For example, when offloading on transporting cargo. Interesting. Which seats can control the missiles on the Arrastra? The pilot seat has control over the missiles. Cool. Are there other entry points on the Arrastra aside from the rear ramp? There is a large docking collar on the side of the ship, as well as a central crew elevator that goes to the ground. That's great. Ships need to stop having 1 entrances. If they're bigger than the Spirit, they need to have 2, if you ask me. What amenities on board the Arrastra? Crew quarters, storage, weapon, armor racks, medical. The Arrastra has shared bunk areas for crew and a separate shared habitation for them to relax and prepare food. There is no dedicated medical rooms aboard. There are integrated weapon and suit storage facilities, but no dedicated armory. Disclaimer, all answers accurately reflect development and intentions at the time of writing, but the company and the development team reserve the right to adapt, improve, and change features in ships designs in response to feedback, playtesting, design revisions, and other considerations to improve the balance and quality of the game overall. There you go, guys. That was the RSI Arrastra mining ship Q&A. I think, yeah, it's looking like a up the middle, better than a mole, worse than a, not worse, but you know what I mean. Smaller, less functional than Orion, but also more functional in some ways. But yeah, there has definitely been Q&As in the past where they have said stuff in these Q&As and it didn't make it to the live version of the ship. But I mean, who's surprised by that? So anyways, guys, that was the RSI Arrastra. Thanks so much for watching, and catch you next time. Berks signing off.